Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey and today we are gonna be working on our bandstand. Finally, I know I'm a little late to the game. Everybody's been working on them. Everybody's already, that was one of the first things that I saw. Everybody's building bandstands right away on the town. I wasn't ready. I needed more time. I needed time to think about, and I was working on a lot of different projects, testing new items, testing the new stone one and layouts and just the water beds, making waterfalls. But finally, after seeing so many wonderful things people are doing, seeing what happens with the bandstand on the day of the 28th in spring, guys, I'm happy and I'm excited. So one of the first things that I needed to do, it was to find out where exactly I wanted to put this area. Where am I gonna build my bandstand? And here we are, once again, back in the old town, the first town that I built in Dinkum. You know, I think that's been one of the blessings, that being able to have two towns and eventually I'm gonna have three towns in one island, is sometimes you wanna make something cool, something different, but then it doesn't fit the aesthetic of the town that you're building on. Then I'm working on another one. But here we are. So one of the areas that I knew this was gonna work great, the feeling finally happened. I knew where I wanted it. It was gonna be, and I wanted to place it next to the lily pond that we just built. I wanted to feel that feeling that is just kind of connecting, and I wanted to kind of just be across the road, just connecting, just like this area is like a big park area with different extensions, you know. So that's part of the goal. So for the area where I had that, I had a bank, you know. And the other thing that I wanted to is where I'm placing the bandstand. When you look across the river, if the camera will pan left right now, oh, it kind of did but too quickly. I have the town hall right over there. So when you're standing from over there, you can kind of see across the river and see this area. So that's why in a way I picked this area. It had a lot of visual elements that I'm want to utilize once we get to that point. But okay, so yes, Jersey, you went ahead and you took down the bank, you moved it. So what happened? Okay, so what happened is, you know, it's something that I wanted to encourage you. Is sometimes we have an idea, we have this build, there's something that we want to do, but we already built something there. And guys, I wanted to demonstrate that it's okay to take things down, to move them out of the way, to build something better, because I think that's part of designing. That's part of this element in this game, is we get to design, we get to build magnificent builds, you know. And sometimes you have that inspiration and you know the perfect place for it, but that means that we're gonna have to work hard. We're gonna have to move things around, and I want to encourage that. I don't want you guys to settle, even in your own town, even in your own build. I don't want you to settle, and I want you guys to go ahead, you know, and move things so you guys can make your towns even better, you know. And that's part of the encouragement. Part of this build, part of this video is to give you that courage and that encouragement that it doesn't matter where you want it. If you can make it work and it fits your visual, you know, aesthetic and what you have in your mind, and we just need to work around it, let's work around it. And that's part of it. That's why I left that in. I didn't start it just with everything empty. I just wanted to show that sometimes we do have to do a little bit extra, but then the outcome at the end is totally worth it. Okay, so the next thing is, okay, so we're gonna clear this area. So I do have my layout, you know, and you guys know me, I did my research, and as soon as you type bandstand, you see amazing pictures, right? And a lot of them are big. They're in big parks, this big area, and it makes sense, you know. They make activities, you got the community, you have all this stuff happening, you know. So my approach, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a little bit bigger. It's gonna be one of my biggest build for one specific item, you know. So because we have the bandstand, this whole build is made because of the bandstand, you know. If I didn't have the bandstand, this probably would not ever, at least not like this, and the idea would never come to this, you know. So but I wanted to have space, and the best way that I can describe it is I'm making like a little park. You know, most bandstand, when you Google them, when you see it online, they all they're all in a park, right? Some of them are in a center of a town, you know, and stuff like that. But most of them, you know, the big one, the activities and all of that, they're like in big parks surrounded by fields or water or just trees or just in a park setting. So I want to recreate that feeling. So I knew I needed space. So originally, the bandstand design is up to right here, right there, right? I didn't have no back way. It was supposed to be, that's the end of the back. We're gonna make a kind of like just an end, and then we got the front, and then we're gonna have this around it. That's gonna be gardens and this. I wanted to make something very elegant. But as I was working on this, you know how it is, inspiration just hit, and I started thinking, okay, I want to keep using the new items. I want to keep using and demonstrating what we can do with waterbed, what we can do with the marble items, what we can do with the new trees and all of that. So I was like, okay. So I started putting ideas together. So a lot of these ideas started coming together as I'm building. That is very rare for me. Most of the time I design and then I apply and then we do some tweaks. But half of this build came up as I'm designing. So you're gonna see in the video, there's gonna be sometimes that I stop, I'm thinking, because now I'm trying to do something different, like right here. So my idea is like, okay, so I got this entrance, we go leading towards the bandstand, and we were supposed to just have some gardens. But now it's like, you know what about if I make 2 seating areas in the front? And then I didn't know how wide I wanted to go. So now here's Jersey being very spontaneous. Takes him forever to do something, as you can see. But the idea is, okay, so I wanted to go to the side and create a seating area. And then my idea at first is in the middle, after I make this square, trying to decide how wide I wanted to go, I was gonna put a fountain, you know, a little waterworks, a little something, and then have some benches, and then you can put some flowers and all of that. So having like a seating area. So here, one of the best tools that we have that is this measuring tape, and I don't use it as often as I need to. I keep forgetting. I got bad habits of counting, and and I just keep forgetting to use it. But when you already got a place measure and you just duplicate on this side, this is a lifesaver. And I love the way it stays. I love the way that we can just use it, and it's just so easy. I'm gonna get better at it, and I'm gonna use it more often. It's just I got bad habits building in me of counting, and my mind just working, and I'm just counting right away. But okay, so basically on this build we're gonna go back and forth, right? And I'm gonna work a lot on the right side to get that right side done, and then we're gonna duplicate it on the left. So this is part 1, don't forget it. I know you guys probably saw on the title, it's on there, and this is part 1 of the bandstand build. And part 2 is gonna be exciting. Part 2 is all about item placement, decorating, also finishing some idea, finishing some stuff that we talk about more at the end. But yes, so I was doing this, then I was started thinking, what about if I keep stretching the back and duplicate what I have in the front, duplicate it in the back, and that will give me more of an open space, right? And it feels more open. It will feel more, not that I want it to be this huge area, right? And I don't want it to feel like that, because none of my other areas are like that. You know, I do, in my mind, I need to make things a little realistic. I need to make things proportional with the characters, with the builds, with the buildings, with the area that I have. That's part of my goal, you know, is to create stuff like that, you know, that it feels right for the area, not just way overdone. So okay, so that was my next approach. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna duplicate what I have in the front, duplicate it on the back, especially the entryway, you know. And so we're slowly building into that, and then I gotta start laying down the vision that I have. So at first I was imagining a few of the hibiscus, alternating the colors to go around, because I'm gonna go with a more of a warmer palette. So the lily pond garden, we went with a lot more white and green and all of that. So here I'm gonna go with a little more reds and yellows, maybe a little bit of orange, maybe a little bit of white as well. just depending what kind of flowers and all of that we end up using, you know. And we're gonna use some of the new spring trees and some of the new spring bushes and the other little trees. So we're still gonna be showcasing a lot of the new items that we got during the spring update, because that's also part, you know. I'm building this on spring. I'm so excited to get to the 28. So, and that's part of the goal, is to build this until we get to the 28, so we can celebrate, you know, with the community, everybody in Dinkum, celebrate the build, the area, and I think that's just gonna be exciting, you know. So at the end, that's part of the goal. So okay, so here I'm planting the hibiscus because I wanted to see if I'm making this visually make sense, you know. I want this circle to kind of happen, but slowly I will notice that it's not falling together, and we're gonna see that very soon as I start placing the bush seed. I notice, like, wait a minute, I don't have enough spacing in the front like I had in the back, and we'll fix that. But that's something that is good sometimes when you're decorating, not doing all the decorating, but if you're trying to make an effect, you know, if you know you're trying to make a circle, or if you're trying to make a square, or you know you got these items here that are supposed to make this effect or perspective or anything, we do need to place those items, you know. Is that way we know exactly, because sometimes when we just placing the pathing, it may look correct and you're like, oh, this looks good, but and then when you placing the items, the main items, you're like, wait a minute, this is not working, this is not falling together. So and that's part of it, you know, and that's why, even though this is not part decorating, this whole video is all about the layout, the placing, the designing, the work that we have to do, all the new ideas that are just popping as we're working. But one of the things that I also like in this particular video, even just rewatching it right now, is how we started, right? We started with the bank, we taken it all out, we moved the bank out of the way, and then slowly we start building. And as you slowly start placing the pathing, the area, you know, the area starts taking shape. You start seeing the squares, the place where you can visualize slowly, oh, this is gonna be good for a garden, oh, this is gonna be good here for a statue or stuff like that. It's amazing how an area starts taking shape, you know, and it gives you that excitement that your work is just working. But then I'm starting to notice, I'm like, okay, this area is coming out a little bigger than anticipated. I wasn't prepared of how big the area was slowly coming to be by adding these new ideas that I have. So this is another idea that I have. I was like, because I saw a couple pictures, and I know some of you guys have done your bandstand on top of a lake, top of water. So, and I like that. It's been very cool to see that. So now I'm mixing inspiration from you guys, inspiration from real life, and I'm kind of mashing them together and working on this idea together. So I was thinking, okay, I want to bring water, and I wanted the water to go around up to this point that you see that I'm digging in the front, but the more we go to the back, it's gonna be more water. And then we're gonna make, and this idea, I was so excited when it hit me. I was like, oh, I want to add this, and I want to make 2 corner waterfalls that they're not like this natural waterfall, right? They're waterfall, you could call it man-made. They're not gonna be cement. They're still gonna have it's gonna be made out of dirt. They're gonna have some decoration with bushes, trees, greenery, but they're not gonna be like this ones that I've been making that are super rocky. They're super big, tall, wide. It's more a little park waterfall fountain. Let's just call it a waterfall fountain, right? And I started envisioning these 2 corners. I have this little water pond that's naturally spawned in the island, as you see back there. So we're gonna use that water to come in, because if you use real water in this level, it's gonna save you so many water beds. So tip number 1, if you wanna save water beds, you don't wanna create so many, unless you're in a higher level. But if you're in the floor level, then bring water. It'll save you so many water beds. But okay, so I was getting a little of my head. So I came back over here to the front, and as you saw, I was digging there. Originally, I wanted to put a fountain. It wasn't working. The design was not gonna work. I wasn't gonna make it be able to fit. I noticed I only had 2. I needed to be 3 wide at least. So we're gonna be readjusting this. And then the next idea hit me was, I want to showcase all the other statues, the croc, the frilly, we got the dog, you know, and I want to showcase a lot of the statues here. Put them very cool, very elegant. And so I knew I needed to kind of work on this area and kind of expand it. So I knew I needed 3 wide. And then we're gonna have a sidewalk, and then we're gonna have the fence, right? So that's what you're seeing me doing. Since I got this now new idea, so I needed now to adjust this, and you're gonna see me pick things up, moving things. This is Jersey not being prepared. This is Jersey working kind of creatively on the spot, trying to get better and try to do something that he's not ready to do just yet. But here we are, you know, and this is awesome, you know, motivating, showing you that sometimes it takes time to do it right, and sometimes you have this vision, and sometimes we just have to redo the work, you know. And one of the things that I already noticed, and you might have noticed, by doing what I did here and extending this to the front, I messed up the whole stair situation. That stair that's coming down from the bridge, that's connecting to here, it looks off. It was bothering me so much. I knew I needed to fix it at some point, and it's not done in this video. We don't work on those stairs coming off the bridge, and then we got the other stairs that coming from the bridge, because now this build came so much wider on both sides that now I gotta rework both of the stairs. But the good news is, even though it was bothering me for so many days, as I was working this, one day I was at work, I was watching people on stream, you know, getting my Dinkum while I'm at work, you know, and an idea came. And I think I can fix the stair. I think it's gonna look good, and we can kind of rework this whole scenario here when it comes to the front. It doesn't affect anything on this build, so that's the good news. But for me, as a layout, and I need this because I like the bridges where they're coming. I'm not planning to move the bridges. I like the bridges, their viewpoints for different type of builds that I have on this island. So yeah, so anyway, so just giving you a little bit good news that I do have an idea. We don't have to worry about it. But here, I'm back to one of my favorite combinations of fences I just saw in the front is the iron fence and the hedges. That combination to me is just golden. I just love that combination. Just it works together. I prefer having a little more greenery and a little less cement, but like always, when it comes to fences and all of that, you pick what works best for you, what you like. Always remember your island, your town, your build, your taste. You know, just always remember that. You know, what makes you happy, that's what you want to do. But this is one of the few items that we're using that is from like the old build compared with all the new spring update. But I did wanted to make it a little bit different compared with the lily pond. I didn't want to use all the marble again in that sense. And this one has a little more of a park atmosphere. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's just a little more of my park atmosphere. But I do like that combination fence. So I think it fits very well here, because the bandstand is not this marble bandstand, so I want everything to feel cohesive with the bandstand. So and that's the goal. Okay, so here is when I was trying to place all of this, all the seeds, all the bushes, and I noticed like, wait, I don't have the same amount of space. That the circle, the way it's coming out, it was off by 1 on the back, so I needed to kind of redo that. And the good thing that was an easy fix, and this is why I think sometimes it's good that sometimes we do place some of the seeds, some of the bushes, some of the trees sometimes early, because they do help form the vision that we have, you know. And if I didn't do this and I waited to part 2 to place all these items that they're kind of important items that are making the formation and the illusion and the shape that you want, then I would have found this so much later, and depending on what I did on the side, maybe I could not fix it, or it would have been so much work to fix. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I think it is important that sometimes we need to place. It's not like you need to decorate as you build, but sometimes we do need to place some of the items that are important, that are supposed to shape, that's supposed to give you a design aspect of the build so we can kind of see it. And then as you're sleeping and working and doing everything else that you're doing, you're gonna see them grow, and then you get the feeling maybe they're too tall, maybe they're too short, maybe you want them all to be big, but sometimes you can't really visualize it completely. And sometimes if you can, sometimes when they grow up, you're like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look the way I want it. You know, while you had in your head, it just didn't match. So sometimes it is important to plan those, so I want you guys to be aware of that, so you guys can do that more in the future. Okay, so here's the next thing. I think this part is important to me, is this idea that I had, that is a waterfall fountain. We want to wrap around water on this half. The back half of the bandstand is more water, right? More water heavy. It's gonna be more water landscape concentrating, and the front part is gonna be a little more garden heavy and statues and stuff like that. So it's kind of like having two things, and that's what I say. I'm matching two ideas that I've seen, a lot of them that I see online, and then ideas that I've seen from you guys, from your videos, from your pictures, from streams. It's an amazing, you know, and that inspiration, that kick that you get after seeing something, you know. And this is what I always hope that you guys, because I get that when I watch you guys. So, and it's so exciting when I know you guys get that from watching these videos. It's just a whole combination. It's the process, you know, and getting this inspiration, building this right over here, I think it's bringing something different to the build, having all this water, you know. And that's what something that the water beds have made possible in Dinkum, is this new type of landscape that we're doing. We're not just concentrating on gardens and plants and stuff like that, but now we also want to concentrate on creating water landscape, you know, ponds, waterfall, rivers, you know, pools, just everything, you know. And I think that whole combination, because of the spring update, has just been amazing, and seeing everybody's creativity in every area, in every different ways, is just, to me completely, it's been such a fountain of inspiration to grab, you know. And to get to this point now that we're finally building the bandstand here in the island, in the town, is just it's great, you know. And one of the things that motivate me a lot on the bandstand is because in my Discord, in the design, somebody sent me a picture of their layout, you know, and they had this computer and the screen, graph paper, and we went back and forth just a little bit there, because I was like, wow, he's gonna design something such amazing. So I was like, you know what, he's motivating me to, I need to step up my game, I need to also create something amazing. And here we are, you know. And that feeling, that excitement to create, to build, to design, that's why I'm here, you know. And that's why I believe you guys are here, is to see that, to get inspired. But okay, so now I needed to figure out where exactly I needed to put this idea that I had, you know, of the waterfall fountain that we're gonna place, you know. And one of the things that I'm discovering when I'm working with the water beds now, you know, is it's hard to calculate how much space you need, especially because I like to hide the water beds. I don't want to see the frame, especially if I'm trying to kind of do a fountain and stuff like that. If in a natural field, if you're making a fountain with cement, or part of the fountain is seeing the outer box, then it's great. Then you don't need that much spacing, right? But for me, I still wanted to make this a little more natural, that it feels like either it was man-made or it's just a tiny little thing. But I knew I was gonna plant a tree on the top. I want to put bushes on the top. So the calculating the spacing, and when you're making shapes, is a little hard. So when you're working on a waterfall or a water landscape, you know, my tip right now is give yourself more space that you need, you know, because you'll be surprised if you want to curve this here, you want to do this other curve, you want to push this to the front, how many more extra squares you're gonna need to hide the frame of the box. That it's not a bad thing. It's actually, it's fun to design, but it's still, I want you guys to be aware that you guys will need more space, maybe twice of what you're thinking, so you can design the waterfall that you want, and you don't feel like, oh, I got this tiny space. And you can make something great with tiny spaces, don't get me wrong, but if you have the ability to give yourself more space until you get a design, and then whatever you don't use, then you can close it off or do something else, I think that'd be the best approach that I would like to recommend. Give yourself more space so you can work everything together at the end. Okay, so what you saw there, I went back to the back. I wanted to make sure what I had, and I'm looking at it again. That's where the waterfall fountain I wanted to start, in that corner. It looks good. It's not too blocked with the trees. I think it's gonna look really good. Even though we're gonna plant a tree back here in the future, the waterfall is gonna extend more to the right, and then you're gonna see that we make it kind of big in the corner, and then eventually those trees are gonna grow that I'm gonna plant eventually, and then we got something. And I think one of the key process eventually that we're gonna try to do is, especially that I'm trying to get better at, is when I'm gonna be decorating and placing the items, especially when it comes to trees, I'm gonna try to be more aware of where I'm placing them, to make sure I'm not blocking something that's gonna be important, unless you want to block it, and sometimes that's part of the idea of placing trees, placing items. You can put them random, and that usually works just as well, bringing all this greenery and all that. But if you're trying to make something a focal point when you're entering, and you want to make sure that at least your peripheral vision, or part of it, you can see it, I think it's important to take account of where you're placing your trees. And sometimes when you're placing your trees, you can go ahead, and if you don't like it, just cut it down, and then move it to maybe one space to the back, or to the front, or to the right. And I think that's part of it, but here, see, you see how we're forming the waterfall. So everything forming, so I keep going back and forth because I wanted to see how it's looking, because to me, it's when I'm entering this section, when I'm entering the bandstand area, I want, from the very back, I want to be able to see it. I want to see this waterfall, that is coming down, and I think that's going to be very visually pleasing, very stimulating, and the whole thing just kind of works together. Okay, so here we are. So here, that's when I say it does take more space, because I gotta now hide all this. So the way I kind of approach this one, instead of raising the whole dirt, and making this big square and then trying to dig, this is just a different approach. I was like envisioning where is the water is gonna fall, and then work to the next edge. Do I want a space? Do I want this to be a 1 square waterfall? Do I want it to be 2 square waterfall? Do I want this corner and this corner connecting? So that's when I started working, and then slowly I start filling up the back. So I felt like I was saving a little more time, and I was able to see a lot quicker what am I building. But it just worked out great on this one. It may not work when you're building something big, especially when you're so tall and you gotta work from tall going all the way down. So maybe this particular way, it doesn't work for that. But it did work a lot better when I was trying to design this particular one. Something in just one level, that's it. I can see it right away. I can see where everything's falling, and then I can just keep adjusting as I go. So now this corner here, I noticed how you had, like, I had those together very quickly. I didn't like it as much, so I added 1 square, I extended it, and then I added the 1. And I think slowly, that started to feel a lot better. And I think that's one of those main things when it comes to waterfall is you just keep trying back and forth, try and error what works best. Sometimes you may not like things together, then you move it out of the way, and then you realize, no, it actually looks good together, and then you put them back together. And I think that's something that I want to keep encouraged, is just keep working at it, keep picking at it, keep having fun with water beds. Try new ways, try new designs, new ideas, and then you you may not be as picky as I am. I'm more picky. I don't want it to the wood frame to show, but I seen so many amazing builds, even in waterfall, that they show the frame, you know, and then they plant a plant next to it, and then they try to hide it, or they put rocks, you know, because, and then it does make a different type of waterfall. You could have a skinny or this, or have something a lot closer to the water, like a rock in the same level, or a plant. So there's different ways to approach it. There's different ways for your imagination to be used when it comes to all of this, and I think that's, you gotta take that to account. And then at the end, like I will always say in every video, is you are the one that has to be happy and to like it. Just because I'm more picky, that doesn't mean that you have to be that picky, you know. But yeah, but this one, the good thing about this particular waterfall is a little more simple. It's not that complicated. It's not this, doesn't have to look this super natural waterfall, because I am thinking this is more like a fountain. It just looks real. It has these natural elements, and I've seen those in parks and in different places that they make these fountains that they look like they're part of nature, but they're truly man-made, you know. And I think that's awesome, you know. And I think that's what I'm trying to approach it here. And you see how we stand there and we can see the waterfall. That's the goal, you know. It's like you can see it. It's far away, but you can see it. And then we're gonna add a little bit of color. We're gonna put some bushes. I still want to use the hibiscus in this area. We're gonna use it a lot more in this particular build than compared with other places that I've done. And then we also want to plant like a little pine tree, just to give it a little bit of height at the end, and kind of just to close it off just a little. But the whole combination slowly, and I feel like this area now is finally taking shape, right? Everything is looking good, everything feels great. So now the next thing that I wanted to do, that I was feeling, is okay, so I got this, but I feel like I want to have a little more water. So I'm gonna break and start taking a lot of this dirt off. So I was thinking, okay, what's the best way to approach this? And I kind of was trying to make a sequence, you know, like just having 3 and then go to the side and having 2 and maybe 3 again and having 2, until we make it into this curve that leads to the very front, where we first started. But the curve wasn't shaping up the way that I want to. So it's something that we're gonna go back and we're gonna start kind of readjusting and make it just a little bit more wider in that particular section. That's just a little too narrow. It doesn't look right. Okay, so back here, before I get to clean all that, because kind of when I went a little bit of ahead, is I kind of framing up the end. I needed to see where was the end, the true end of the wall. So we put the fence, so now I know this is where it ends, and then after the fence, we're just gonna do a lot of greenery. We're just gonna fill it up so it looks kind of full and heavy. A lot of that will be on part 2, of course, but I kind of needed to know the idea where everything's gonna be framing, where everything's gonna end. So here we are. So we're slowly now we're shaping this up. So the other part that I started noticing, and then you have 2 ways to approach it. I knew I needed to take part of this wall out, you know, this little hill that I have over here. So, and it's a lot of work, you know, you have to do it. I can wrap around, and that's what I was thinking right here. Well, if I wrap around, but then again, I'm compromising, and if it's something that you can deal with and you're gonna feel fine and you're gonna forget about it, then it's great. But you know what? I decided to do the work. I decided to go ahead and just shave up part of that wall, because I like the wall. I need this wall to stay here. It kind of closes, it's closing the build, this area, right? And it feels, I got this nature. It feels like the end of the town is here, and then after there, it goes into the wilderness. Like we haven't developed past this point. And at the same time, I do like field, because once we do all the greenery that we want to do, and putting all the trees and putting all the flowers against this wall, I think it's gonna look really nice. It's gonna give you that backdrop and just that end to it. But then it feels like you're in this enclosed area, but on the other side is wide open. I just feel like it just feels right and it feels good, you know. And then yeah, so, and I really wanted to keep it, so that's the goal. And you see how it looks, and you see the wall, it looks good. But once we add the greenery that we need, the trees that we need, the plants that we need, I think all of that is gonna work together really well, and it's just gonna just put the build together. But slowly the build is getting there. Things are getting bigger, trees are growing, the bushes are growing, everything's looking good, everything is shaping up together, you know, and I'm being very positive. I'm like, okay, this is looking good, this is feeling good, I think we're getting something here. And you know, it's such a good feeling once you get to points like this, when the idea and when you're improvising, because in this build I am improvising a little bit, you know, and I'm a little lost sometimes. You see my character kind of wandering around because the half of the build I knew what I wanted to do, but the new ideas came, and I'm trying to be more daring, you know, like you guys. A lot of you guys you feel it, you do it, you're building something, and then you are doing it. So, you know, I'm taking inspiration from you guys. I'm taking a page from your book and applying it to my build. And this is one of those. This is one of those particular builds that I'm taking that page, that inspiration, and adding something more into my island. And it worked out really great this time because I truly was inspired. So many of you have built so many wonderful bandstand area by using new item, by putting it in the middle of a lake, by using the marble items. It's been fantastic, and that inspiration was bubbling in me, just wanting to build this, and this is the perfect timing. At the same time, this build took, you know, a couple more days extra. You know, I don't do a build in a day. You know, I take different days and I work at it, and I usually try to have my videos uploaded in a certain amount of time, every 3 days at least, to try to have one. And I'm a little behind on this one because at one point we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna get there. And why this video got a little bit delayed is because I needed one more day. I needed to sleep on it because I was very indecisive. But then okay, yeah, I was very undecisive, but we're gonna get there. I don't want to get a little too ahead because, you know, it's kind of like a story. I need to give you the background, I need to give you the information and how my mind got to that point and that thinking. But okay, but before I start working on the other side, so we can start duplicating everything that we did on the right side, we need to do it on the left side, of course. I want to kind of finish shaping this off, and I needed to start imagining how the greenery will look like, how everything's gonna be placed. And then I noticed that I kind of still needed to clear one more row at least for visually, something still felt that it wasn't just ready. So we're gonna see that I'm gonna take one more square of that wall, and then once I did that, it felt like it was right, like everything was just, I had the right amount of spacing for the future, for trees and stuff like that. But slowly it's shaping up, you know. And I think this is when I say always, it's trial and error. Sometimes you're gonna try something, you need to move it, you need to place it, and then sometimes it's not gonna work and you need to undo it and then redo it. It's fun, it's challenging, but it comes with the territory. And I think, but at the same time, that's what makes Dinkum such a fun game, you know. And I do recommend, you know, like I did on this build, you know, I build as much as I can. I need a break, I take my break, then I come back. I try not to push it too much. I do feel like sometimes when we are pushing the build, when we are pushing the design, because we want to be done and we want to say we're done with the build, I do feel like it's not the best that we can always do. And I do feel like we did a lot of compromising. The ideas that we had, it's just because we wanted to get it done. So, you know, one of the recommendations, one of the tips, or one of the advice that I want to give you is not to truly rush it, not to push it, not to take breaks when you need to, you know. If you're not truly 100% inspired, you know, or you're unsure, then sleep on it. Come back the next day, come back in a few hours, and then when you're looking at it again, then you're gonna know for sure if this gonna work, it's not gonna work, it is what you want. And then the next advice that I will give you is, when you look at it, are you happy? Are you smiling? Do you feel that sense of accomplishment? And then if you do, then you're good, you're golden, you're ready, you can move on to the next phase. But if you still feel not happy, then pick at it, keep working at it. ask questions, you know, find somebody that you trust. I'm on Discord, tag me on it, send me on Twitter, you know, write me a comment on the video, and you know, and let's talk. Let's see what we can do, you know, and I will give you my honest opinion. I will tell you if it, you know, for me, if it looks good, or if I feel, and depending on the way you ask the question, I will give you the best answer that I can give you. But I think as the community is growing, you know, and we're all in chat, we're all in different streams, and we're all talking with one another, I think we're all evolving. We're all becoming better designers, better builders, you know, because I know, because I'm getting, I know you guys are getting inspiration from me, but I'm getting inspiration from you, you know, from your comments, from your pictures, from your videos. It's a whole combination, and the community, as we all keep growing and talking with each other, it's just amazing, truly amazing, and I just so excited. So okay, so now that I feel, you know, we got to the point of this video that I feel like I got everything that I needed on the left side the way I wanted. It was time to take everything apart that we have on the left side, because now we need to start duplicating, having the space, and then we need to recreate the waterfall that we created on the right side. We need to recreate it here. So okay, so I think we got to the best point on the video, right? Because I don't have to explain everything that's going on here, right? So if you guys are listening, if you guys are here, hey, break time. Go get a soda, get something, stretch, get up, you know, let's stretch together. Here we are stretching. But okay, but now, if you're still here, you know, let's talk. I'm gonna give you a story. And here's the story. You know, so when I was building this waterfall on this side, I'm replicating this waterfall. As I'm building it, I get this new idea, right? And then I was like, you know what? I think if I make this waterfall taller, you know, over here, I think it's gonna look good, you know, because then you're on the bottom and then you will see this a little taller. So now, instead of becoming a waterfall fountain, it actually became kind of like a little waterfall. So from the front, inside the bandstand, inside that area, it was looking good, right? But when I was looking at it from the back, from inside the town, from different area, I had just this brown wall, and I was not loving it. But it was a hard decision, because, you know, you did all this work, you know, and you did this, and it looks good, you know, and I was happy with it. But I was not happy with it. I was in a stalemate. I was just right there in the middle, not knowing which way to go. And so, and this is why this video is just a little late than my normal upload schedule, you know, because I needed another day. I needed another day to think about it. I needed to sleep on it. And that night, I went to sleep, and I was laying in bed, and I just kept thinking. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if I want it high. I don't know if I want it low. I think low has its advantages. Tall has its advantages too. It's very impressive, but I don't like the way it looks from the back. And I'm a very visual kind of guy, right? So if you've been following me and you've been watching my videos, you guys know I like my viewpoints, right? I like to look things from high, from the side, from different areas in the island, to see how everything is looking, right? But there were a couple benefits, you know, from having it tall. It was kind of impressive, but it did take away a little bit of the simplicity of the small one that's bringing to the area. And then the next thing is, you know, we all know what happened on spring, on the 28th. All the Dinkum characters, they get together, we start celebrating, and there's a spectacular show that happens at night, right? So I'm putting myself in this scenario, you know, that if I was there and I'm in this bandstand and the fireworks are just shooting up the sky and just filling up the night sky, well, now I don't want this high wall being there, you know. And I know it's a game and we can walk away. And one of the best features that James built is, it doesn't matter where you're looking at in the game, you will always see fireworks. It's just amazing. It's just the way he built it. It's just amazing. So I know I can walk away, but you know, there's something in me, you know, that when I'm building, realistic factor, it has to click with my mind, and I know, and I try to fight that. I try to fight that feeling sometimes, because this is a game. I can't make everything 100% realistic. It's impossible, you know. I gotta make my own compromises when it comes to that. But there was something about that particular aspect that I just wanted to have this clear sky, right? And also then I noticed that I was blocking away the view from the bandstand to look across the smaller way of the waterfront and seeing the bank and seeing the structure that's on the back. So I went to bed, I went to sleep, and then I woke up the next morning, and there, as soon as I opened my eyes, that came to my mind again. And you know, I got up, I make my coffee, I come to the office, I sit down, load up the game, open it up, put my character, and I just have my character just standing there, just looking at it. And in that moment, I just still could not decide. So I started like, you know, I'm gonna call my wife, I'm gonna call Nestor, she's gonna come over here, and she's gonna help me with this. And the best reaction, and I couldn't believe it how fast it went. I call her, she comes, you know, and as soon as she says, and she, I don't know, it was seconds, and she's like, I like the small one. Bam, done. This. I wanted to explain. My feeling, my reasoning, my pros and cons, and all of this. But as soon as she saw it, she's like, I like the small one. I like the simplicity. It looks better in this area instead of this big waterfall display. And I was like, you know, that was one of the things that I really like about the small one, was the simplicity that will bring to this area. And then I was able to explain. We talk. I walk my character around. I show her what I didn't like and all of that. And we're gonna get to a point in this part of the video that we'll get to see what I'm saying when I saw that just the brown wall is just in the way, you know. But since I'm using this portion of the video that I'm just duplicating one side to the other, you know, this is one telling the story. But it was so instant for her to go the small one. I was just blown away, and it was so easy, and at the same time it was a relief, you know. And I'm pretty sure you guys get to those points. And this is the next topic I want to talk about, is that sometimes we get stuck. We truly do, you know. Even I get stuck, like I got stuck today. We get to those moments that when we get stuck, we don't know which way to go, you know. And one of the best ways that I know I mentioned, if you're new here in the channel and you haven't heard me say this, is I work a lot by feeling. And when I'm building something and I'm smiling and I'm happy, then I know I'm good, you know. I'm making something that is making me happy, and that's always the goal. The goal in Dinkum, to me, for you guys, is for you guys to always be happy with what you're building, with your town, you know. And in this particular moment, I was stuck on it, you know. And a lot of the times I do wait for you guys' feedback, you know, to what you guys are writing, what you guys are saying, you know. I value all of that, but this video was not out, and I was stuck, you know. And there was something in me that I could not release this video the way that I wanted to, because it was not completed. It was not into that point that I felt like, this is part one, we got to a good ending, we got to a good point. And to me, to get to those levels, you know, for you guys especially, because I know some of you have wrote me and all that you guys do follow this video, you know, and then you guys are tweaking it as you see fit to make it work in your island. So to me, it's important, you know. I do take value in the time that you guys are giving me watching this video, being part of the channel, you know. So it's important, you know. So there was something in me that I would not let me just release it into I make a decision. So like I said, I went to sleep, I brought her in, bam, boom, 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 she made the decision, I liked the decision. And then as I was doing all of that and then refixing everything, it just, new ideas came, and it was, guys, it just was amazing. And I can't wait till we get to that point in the video. So here we are still building, you know, even after all that talk. and all of that. I'm building what I built over there. So soon we're gonna start raising this area up. So the next thing that I do need to work here is the stairs. You know, those stairs that were leading to this area that was going down, we no longer have the road and all that. So I'm gonna talk about this idea that I was having, that it's gonna rechange completely. So the stairs, I was gonna have the stair like this idea came to my head. I was gonna have the middle of the walkway leading to the back of the bandstand. It was gonna go up to a second tier, and then that second tier we're gonna have like this hallway, like this walkway that was gonna go around the waterfall fountains and then attached to the stairs. So it's like having this back entrance. And that idea, I was happy with it. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna look cool. But yeah, all that fell apart once I built the tall waterfall. I was not loving it. I was not unsure. I needed help. We made the decision, and then I needed to take everything apart. But then when I was taking everything apart, this new idea started kicking in, and then we just need to get there. I wish we were there right now, but we're not there just yet. But okay, but then these stairs that you see here right now, those as well, all that needs to be reworked because they're not falling the way that I need to. You know, it just looks awkward. It's not falling proportionally to the road. So I do have ideas. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was at lunch one day. You know, I like to watch my fellow Dinkum streamers that I've been meeting. So many wonderful people out there that I've been able to meet, new people in chat. It's just when it comes to the Dinkum community, what can I say? You guys are amazing. I love seeing all of you, all your names, commenting, writing, hanging out, saying hi, supporting one another, you know, talking about the game, talking about designing. It's just amazing, and I just truly love it, you know. And a lot of times I'm in the lurk mode because I'm at work. I can't write all the time, and I don't want you guys to feel like you guys are being ignored if I'm not answering, if you guys are writing me, you know, because, you know, I'm lurking. I'm more listening to what the streamers are saying and when they read their comments, but I don't want to miss your guys' comments if you guys know that I'm there. So, you know, but I'm always lurking. You'd be surprised how much I lurk in different people's streams, always there listening and just enjoying the conversation, you know. And I just love listening and what all the other streamers are doing and enjoying and making me laugh and just how they tell stories. Just so fun. But okay, so here we are again. Okay, so I still gonna be readjusting this. I'm still trying to figure out ways to do this the way I want it, and I kind of have it done. So I'm doing kind of like, okay, I'm gonna put this over here. I kind of shaping this area over here, putting some of the bushes just like I did on the other side over there, and kind of having this little corner, you know. And then I already started lifting the ramp, like the stairs that you guys saw, because I'm already planning, oh, I'm gonna loop this walkway that's gonna go around, you know, and lead to that stairs. And then maybe I was gonna try to do maybe something on the other side leading towards the right. I wasn't sure just yet. I just know I needed a way to attach the stairs because I like the bridge. I like where the bridge at. It's just a visual point that I do like. And now that we're gonna have the bank in that area, I think that's gonna look really good. And I'm excited to work on the bank area. I think the bank area is gonna be a fantastic area once we get to it. We're gonna make it a little bit better. It's gonna fit the atmosphere. It's gonna fill that area, and it's just gonna be great. But okay, so the other part that we wanna talk over here is this. You know, sometimes we got all this built. As you guys saw, I got a little farm over here. I had the stairs, I had a row, we had the bank, and you can see how much this build has evolved. And this is the next tip, as I'm still working here and I don't need to explain too much, is that, guys, don't ever get discouraged just because you want to build something new in a specific area and you guys feel like you need more space. This is what designing is, you know, is if you want to do something really good and build it and just design it the way you want it, the way you envision it, and then when you guys get ideas and your ideas are evolving, this is what we have to go through sometimes, is the idea expand. And I think, but at the same time, don't forget, part of the fun part of the fun of this game, part of fun of designing, building, decorating is being able to, after you finish a build and you're done, create another one. I think that's the endless possibilities in Dinkum, and it's just being able to build and build and build. And once you finish something and you made 3 parks, now you can make another park in a whole different style, make a whole different town in a whole different theme, and with items and decorating and trees and plants and things that you haven't even tried just yet. And I love all of that. I love all that scenario. I love all that thinking, and I think that's all part of everything. And I don't want you guys to be discouraged, because as you've seen here, this build has evolved from the very beginning, that it was supposed to be about a particular size, adding the 2 sides for the seating and the statue, then adding the water around it, adding the waterfall fountains in the back, stretching the back more back. It's just evolving, and I think that's a good thing. If you have the space, and don't be afraid if you need to move things, and you feel like if you move this is better for this area, and then wherever you move the other thing, you get to improve it and improve that area, and then we're just gonna keep back and forth improving all the areas, right? So here we're back. Here's where the portion of the story that I told you that I was raising this up, raising this section, making the water taller, because it's fun to build waterfalls. It truly is, but I'm discovering myself that I need to be careful. I'm enjoying the waterfalls a little too much, that I gotta make sure that I'm not overdoing it and putting a waterfall in every specific place. I think it's important as a design, as a aspect. But okay, let me just backtrack, because I don't want anybody to get mad at me. It's important in my style of design, because in real life, there's not many waterfalls unless you live somewhere very tropical, very jungle, very mountain, very rocky, on an area that you do have a lot of waterfalls. Then it's great. But I am figuring out, and I want to build waterfalls, water fountains, water landscaping design in a very good, tasteful way, that it's not just, I got 10 waterfalls in one town. I do want to make sense why there are waterfalls here and why they're not, or why this is more like a fountain and not a very rocky waterfall. It's really exciting to build them, don't get me wrong, and I do enjoy them. I had so much fun designing waterfall, and there's so many ways you can design them and build and structure them in different way, and like I said, it's just in my style. I'm finding out, just like what happened here, having a tall one was not the best choice, and I think at the end I think I made the right choice by going smaller. I think going smaller on this particular section in the town was the best choice, and just creating this more simple, more just elegant waterfall. And this is not looking bad, as you can see, and then we're gonna extend it just a little more. We're gonna have a little more coming down, and I think that's part of also the process of evolving your build, right? And having to take it down, because that's the next thing I want to talk about, as we get this opportunity on this part of the videos, that I don't have to explain too much, because I already kind of talk about the story, and all this is gonna take down, so I don't need to explain why I did it. I already explained why I did it and why I kind of took it down. But the process of taking something down after you build it, after it really looks good, is successful, it could be hard. And I'll be honest, because you spend time, you could spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours building something, that looks good, that if I will ask many people, they will tell me, oh, that's excellent, leave it, but the most important, and I feel confident every time I say it, is really, really concentrate on you. Concentrate if this build makes you happy, because we all have different ways to look at builds. We all have different ways that we enjoy, our builds, our scenarios, what we feel like looks good and doesn't look good. It's always gonna be different, you know. We all are very supportive community, and I've loved that about the Dinkum, about everybody that I'm meeting, you know. But at the end, I truly will say it one more time, and I think I will say it forever in every video, is it's your island, it's your town, it's your bill. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I want you to be happy with what you build, you know. And don't try to be Jersey, don't try to be anybody else. Be you, be the person that you want to be the designer that you want to be. I think that's the key. I think that's the most important part in any of these videos, in any inspiration that you get, is I want you to be you. I want who you are to come off in your builds, in your town, in your designing, you know, and what makes you happy, you know. Because when I do island tours, you know, and I visit people's islands and I see their pictures, you know, you can feel that excitement. I truly do. You feel that energy, that positivity, how happy they are for what they created, you know. And truly it's just such a wonderful feeling when you truly hear that, when you hear that person happy for what they created. I think that's, you know, it doesn't matter what they build, because at the end it's the happiness, that voice, that smile that you guys will have when you guys are showing your island, talking about your island, showing pictures of what you built. That's the goal, you know. I want this channel to always be a place where you guys get inspired, where you guys get ideas. Oh, okay, and here, you see how this look, that black wall, that just brown, blocky wall, looking at it from the bank area, it's just, no, did not like it. That was part of my frustration. That was part of why I woke up and I could not deal with it, you know. But, well, you know, we talk about that. But going back to, like, look, after all that time working it, doing it, look, we just gotta take it all down, you know. And I think that's why it's important, you know. This video is a little longer than what I normally would have done, because I could have edited a lot of this out and pretended like I never built that. But I think it's important because I truly motivating, inspiring others, showing the true colors, showing everything that we go through as designers, as creators, you know. I think it's important. I truly believe that. You know, because I don't want you guys to think that it's so easy for one person, not easy for you. It is not, you know. I think I make my builds a little more complicated than I need to, you know, especially on the design process, because I look for inspiration either from you guys, from your comments, from your pictures, from your videos, and real life, you know. And to me, finding that inspiration that is gonna motivate me to build something amazing, you know, for you guys to then get inspired, you know. The journey alone of that is an amazing thing. I'm discovering new places, reading about new parks, new areas. I read so many about Bandstand. I read about the Boston one. I read about the New York one. It's just amazing. And you read about the history. So I feel like I'm in school sometimes here, you know, designing in Dinkum, and I'm in school, just learning about these other areas in the world, you know, and hearing from you guys where you guys are in the world. So, but don't be discouraged. Don't ever be discouraged. Be motivated. Create what you want. Build what you want, you know. And then I know people ask, but feel free 100% to copy anything that you do, anything that you see here in this world, in this channel. Feel 100% to copy it up 100% if you need to. This is your starting point. This is a point for you to get motivation, to get inspired, you know. And yeah, you know, and Discord's there, and there's many Discord creators out there that also creating amazing Dinkum content that is not like mine, that's their whole take, a whole different approach, and they're there. Watch them, find them. They're great, they're amazing, the community is amazing, and I'm meeting so many of them that it's just an amazing journey. But here we are. So as I was taking down the mountain, and here we come to the positive, you know, because this is the silver lining, right? The end goal is that even though you had to take something down, and you did all that work, and you spend 2-3 hours on it, and now you gotta take it all apart, there's always a silver lining. And the silver lining is that you're gonna get another idea, another inspiration, and telling you what, it's gonna be so much better than what you had before. Because what happened next for me, and it just was an amazing, I don't know how the idea came. I was building and I was doing this, and then I was like, you know what, now that I got this level and I got this other viewpoint back here, I need to make a viewpoint. But now this viewpoint make more sense, because now I can still see look at it over here. Here we are. You can still see the bandstand, you can still see the trees, but now we're gonna create this pond area in the back, and it's gonna wrap around, and we're gonna attach it to the very front. So then the water landscape here turned out to be really, really cool. And I was not prepared for this. This was 100% super spontaneous, on the spot, on the building, but the creative juices were just going at it, and I was like, okay, I got this idea. I kind of want to, I can see it in my head, and here we are. So now we're kind of making a little more round. We're gonna shape it all around here. We're gonna connect it, and it's great. And then what I was thinking is, like out here, I can make like a little picnic area, that because I got these little stairs that you may not see it, but you can come down from the side in front of the bank, right next to the bridge, and that's why you see the cobblestone. It leads to this little one stairway, right? So we can kind of take those stairs, come back down there, and then maybe do a little picnic area, just very secluded, or maybe a few benches or something. Maybe this is a place where people fish. I don't know. We'll make something great over here. Like I said on part 2 on the video, we're gonna make on a lot of these water places deep. I need to research exactly what levels do fish spawn, because that's going to be very important, because I don't want to go so deep, but I want to go deep enough that we're going to have the fish to spawn in here and inside the bandstand area, because I want to be able to have fish. So then we ever need to fish, we got fish. I don't want it just to be this one level. I want it to have a little more depth, and then we're going to work on decorating and all of that. But it was so cool that, you know, when this inspiration hit, and I was on fire. I was like, I think it was one of the best feelings that I ever had, spontaneously building something with no plan. I wasn't truly thinking a lot. The ideas were coming, and they were working out a little too perfect, because it was really great. Because the other part that happened that I really got excited is because I was like, okay, so I don't know what to do at the end here. Like, I got this open area now, like it's just leading to nowhere. And then it hit me, and I was like, oh my goodness, what about if I move all the stairs and I attach it to the very end of that little patio walkway that's coming out of the bank now? And guys, that hit the trick. Once I did that, I was so happy. I was like, okay, now this is shaping up so good, because we got the official entrance of the bandstand, right? We got the back entrance. So now we got 2 ways to get in from the town. You got 2 ways to go across the town, because you know me, you know, if you're new, you've been here, you're following coastal town. That's something that I've been trying to improve, right? Is have multiple ways to get in and out, going around, because it feels more realistic when it's not just one strict way to get in and out, and that's it. And being able to do this here, I was like, oh my goodness, this is just gonna be great. It's just gonna work. It's gonna be good. And yeah. So here I just added a few more waterfalls, just from the backside, just to feel it a little more, to give a little more movement in the back. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with super rocky formation on the bottom. I'm gonna look at more pictures on park areas like this when they got this type of water fountains, and see what the approach, what's gonna inspire me, what's gonna hit me. If I want to do a lot of rock, I want to keep it more simple. Do I want to do more just vegetation? I don't know exactly. We're gonna play it, especially on part 2. There's gonna be a lot of trial and error, most likely, but I think that's how it is. You know, designing is, I truly believe it, trial and error. That's what we're gonna do. But here I noticed that this part of the waterfall that I was trying to duplicate what I had in the front, right? So kind of fall full circle, but it was too close now, and I didn't like that. completely. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna finish this here, we're gonna make the water come in here, and then we got something. And then basically this in part 2, we probably maybe start with this in part 2, because I'm gonna have to duplicate this new waterfall structure area on the other side. But yeah, but I was so excited. I think at the end, everything that we accomplished, everything that we talked about, you know, to not giving up, even though after you build something amazing, having to take it down completely after you've spent all that time and it looked good, you know, but being brave, don't being discouraged, just do what you need to do, finding ways to keep improving your builds, you know, talking with other people, getting their advice, getting their input, but at the end, trusting your own judgment that what you like is what you like, and what you see is, you gotta make sure that you are happy. I think that's important. I do like how this water is wrapping around right here, but then we have a little break right here going around with the fence, but it just, I don't know, it just feels good. It feels good to me. I need, the one thing I need to make sure is that I don't have way too much water, you know. I think I'm gonna give it a couple days, you know, as I'm gonna start working on part 2 very soon. I'll start walking the area, I'll start feeling the area, and just to make sure. But right now, I'm happy, guys. I'm truly happy. I'm satisfied with everything that was coming out, you know. I think I'm in a point that everything's coming out together, and it's coming out so great, you know. And I'll say it again, a lot of this is because of you guys, the inspiration, the communication, the feedback, the comments, interacting with one another, you know, in all the platforms. It's just, what a time. I mean, I can't express how happy I am with everything that's been happening lately. Meeting all of you, talking with all of you in chat, it's been amazing. Meeting all the new creators that I've been able to interact, to participate in, and it's just great. So here we are. Here I noticed that I was a little short. There was something off, so I kept counting and counting, and I know I forgot again. Tape measure, old habits die hard. I need to break it, and I'm carrying the tape measure with me. It's in my pocket, and I'm not using it. I need to get better, because I truly love the tape measure. It is a lifesaver. You just gotta measure once, bring it, and done, instead of me going back and forth trying to count the area. Because here we are, look, I'm counting again, and I did something wrong, and I need to redo it again. If I would have used that tape measure the very first time, I didn't have to do this. But it's funny how in the moment the habit is there, and they don't want to die. They just linger in there. But here we are. So I noticed I was a little off. I needed to redo a little of the back so we can have the back entrance. Everything's gonna tie it into the stairs. We're gonna add sidewalks to the stair. We're gonna do a walk path, and then this area is finally coming together. And I think I don't know. I'm gonna ask you a question, you know, because I go back and forth even in my own thinking. I don't know what I have more fun with. It's either designing and doing the layout, or decorating. I think both got their benefits, you know. Decorating is super fun. I do feel like decorating and putting all the items and those things bring the build to life, you know, and it just makes it feel it's done, it's built. But creating layouts, doing all this work that we did, you know, I think it's so much fun. It truly is. Even though it can be frustrating, either it can be like and you just can't like and that's why I say take breaks in between builds. Don't go too long, you know. As soon as you feel a little frustrated, take a break, come back. But I think I'm gonna cast my vote into designing and making layouts, because without that we can't decorate. And I do feel like designing is fun, and I just coming up with idea, walkways, scenarios, layouts. And then after you do that, then you can place all the items that are so important. You know, it's truly neck and neck. This could be a 50-50 question. This could be a lot of people could vote for decorating. I don't know. I think right now I'm gonna put my vote on doing layouts and designing, creating a town. I think it's just fun to do that. But yeah, but here we are in this section here. I kind of felt like it was a little more cramped. So now I wanted to make it feel a little more wider. We're gonna put some seating there. I think that's gonna be really nice, gonna feel really good. And yeah, so slowly this area is coming together. Everything is just matching together. You guys being here, if you guys are still watching, thank you so much, you know, because you guys are the encouragement that I need for all this to make it possible, you know. It's those comments, those feedback, hearing from you guys all the time, you know, how you guys truly got inspiration and you guys took ideas from the builds and then you made them your own. It's just truly fantastic, amazing. I don't have any words to express how grateful I am that you guys take your time, your valuable time, and watch these videos and take the time to do the feedback so we can create even better builds and better videos. You know, I know time is, there's not enough time to do everything that we all want to do, right? And you guys taking the time to be here listening to me explain, you know, this, you know, in many ways this is a game, but at the same time, you know, we all enjoy a lot of times this is our time that we unwind by playing Dinkum, you know. And I think everything comes full circle, and I can't express how grateful I am, how honored I am, and that you guys are here and always here and encouraging me to continue to build and create things for you guys to watch, to enjoy, you know. And I can't wait to create another area for the bandstand, then another and another and another in the future, you know. And I think all of that is gonna come together. But yeah, it's the build came together, part 1. I was finally got to a point that I was able to release it, that I feel good, I feel proud of what we accomplished, so you guys can get inspiration, start building your areas, redo your areas, whatever you guys need to do. I'm hoping that you guys found that inspiration here, found that little itch that you guys want to redesign, redo something, because that's the fun. This is why we play Dinkum. I truly believe it is to do this, to design, to create, to then talk to one another, and to just create and just have fun, you know, and seeing each other in stream, seeing each other in chats and communicating, talking in Discord, and then doing multiplayer. So many of you have become friends and going down to the mines and play together. It's just been truly an amazing journey. The spring update, what an amazing update. I never experienced something like this, especially as a creator. All of you are just amazing, and here we are. We made it. Part 1 is done. I can't wait to see you guys on part 2. I'm just so excited to read everything that you guys have to say in the feedbacks, and I'm ready for it. So guys, don't forget, write them down. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you next time. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.